Yes, so it's really good to be back, and it's been a wonderful time, much after our very first online event, which went wonderfully well. So thank you to everyone who was a part of it. So we'll pick up right where we left off. All right, my name is Lali Bitoye, and this is Quick 516. So today we will be talking about ideas. All right, ideas. And of course, to not to overflow the concept, but it's one word that I know has been going around a whole lot now. In fact, not just now, it's been going around forever. But I just want to share my own thoughts on the concept of ideas, right? Okay, so we would jump right into it. And the beautiful thing we should know is the fact that ideas are quite, what's the word now? They're quite frail. Yeah, they're quite frail. They can disappear as quickly as they appear. Right? And another very important fact you should know about ideas is they never come fully formed. They never come fully formed. Once you have an idea about a project, about a job, about an action, it is never fully formed. It is never the finished product. It's just an idea. That means that it's a raw material. It's like raw gold, digging raw gold or raw diamond out of the ground. It's unprocessed. Alright? You still need to refine it. You need to sharpen it. You need to shapen it. You need to forge it. Right? So, an idea is it's like a seed. So you need to take it through the processing plant of your thought process. So now, an idea enters your mind. A thought enters your mind. Now you take that thought, you take that idea, and you begin to process it. Alright? You begin to the process is now deliberately taking it. Like I said earlier, there's the thinking process and there's the worrying process, right? So you need to take it through a thinking process for you to be able to understand what the idea is about, the scope of the idea, what would you need to execute the idea, how long would it take to execute the idea. In thinking about all of that, of course, now it helps us to actually now go to the next part. You could write it down. After writing it down, you could discuss it with someone. In discussing it with someone, that seed of idea you got begins to evolve. In the place of evolving, you begin to remove some things, add some things, remove some things, add some things. But the important part is that the original concept, the original ideas maintains itself. So, ideas are thoughts, and they can be anything at all. But the important part is for us to know that when they come, they are never fully formed. So we have the responsibility to take it up and now begin to work on it, add to it, remove from it. Okay, that's how it evolves. It can be quite catastrophic if you catch an idea right now and you run with it without due diligence, without due process of actually taking it through a very rigorous thinking process. Yeah, I know that there are times when you just get an idea and you're just so pumped up and you just run with it. Beautiful. It works out sometimes, but that doesn't mean it's a universal rule. It's important that we take an idea and we consider it, we look through it properly, we weigh the options in actually taking this course of action. What are the consequences? What are the possible gains? What are the shortcomings we're going to encounter? What are the advantages we're going to get? Which opportunities can we leverage on? Right? So each idea that comes to our mind is in its raw state, and we have the responsibility to process it, to dig deeper. So that idea that has entered your mind about that business, about that career, about that challenge you're facing, about that problem you're trying to solve, that idea is in its raw state, but it will never become anything if you don't do something about it. So doing something about it first. Expand it. Expand it is in the place of writing it down, understanding the idea, how it will be done, what can be done about it, and what are the consequences or the possible gains about it. Then talk to someone about it. then move. The beauty of an idea is the fact that it doesn't come to you alone. If you feel that you're the only one who have actually received an idea, you lie. Big one. You are in great deception. If you catch an idea right now, there is every possibility that someone somewhere is catching that same frequency of ideas, and so don't fall into that trap. Think an idea is unique to you alone. Someone somewhere, if not 2, 3, 4, 5 different people, caught that same idea, and the first person to hit the market with it, the first person to prefer it, the first person to work on it, the first person to get it out there wins. Right? I remember long ago I had the idea of, come on, if we can actually make phone calls over such long distance with no wires, no cables, nothing, why can't we transmit electricity the same way? I can be here and I can receive electricity without all the wires and cables flying around all over the city. And that's about it, wireless electricity. And lo and behold, like some 3-4 years down the line, I actually watched a video on YouTube and there it was, wireless electricity. So, catch an idea. You may not just be the only one catching it. Someone else may be facing the same problem. Someone else may be catching that same idea right there and then. So it's important you put it in motion. But a word of caution, not every idea is yours to execute. Not every idea do you have to work on. Not every idea has to be implemented now. There is a time and season. You need to know when to start. You need to know when to stop. You need to know when to pause. You need to know when to just put it down. In fact, you need to know when to sell an idea. Yeah. You need to know when to sell an idea. You've got a powerful idea doesn't mean you have to be the one to implement it. And again, another myth. They'll steal my idea. If your idea is not worth stealing, then it's not an idea in the first place. Number one. Number two, if someone steals your idea, all they stole was an idea. You have the inspiration, you have the source that produced the idea. You can get a better one. No idea is ever fully formed. Nothing that has ever been created is in its perfect state. Everything can always be improved upon. 50 years ago, 100 years ago, some people may never have imagined the fact that we could have wireless communication. But here we are now. And even though we feel we are at the peak of technological advancement right now, we are still far from the truth. Exactly. And as much as I know that some of us are tied to the belief that our earth is the home and everything, I don't know if the next 200 years earth still stands and civilization still stands. We may just be exploring the shores beyond earth. It's a possibility. So ideas evolve. Ideas are universal. You may not be the only one catching that idea right there and then. So the ones you can do something about, do something about it. The ones you can't do something about, sell it. Outsource it. But trying to keep an idea and locking it up away and saying, okay, I'll do something about it some other time. Well, in my own school of thought may not be the entirely good idea. Some ideas need to be studied with, but in some cases, some ideas are quite perishable. The idea that is valid and really valuable right now may be outdated and extinct probably in the next 1 week. We're in a dispensation where information is perishable. New things keep coming out every day. New inventions, new ideas, new innovations keep coming out, and therefore the rate at which we need to update ourselves, the rate at which we need to push out and get things upgraded is on the rise. So ideas are thoughts, and they require us to have a deliberate thought process to process it, to evolve it, and take deliberate actions to bring it to pass. We all catch ideas, but not all of us do something about it. So what's that idea you've been ruminating on? What's that idea you've not been sure that you've been trying to see what you can do about it? Sit down today and probably go through not a worry process, a good thinking process. A good thinking process, like I said, involves organizing your thoughts, pen it down, talk to someone about it, then take it all over again. Then take your first step to it. Ideas rule the world. It may not be the biggest of ideas. It may be the simplest of ideas in the next course of action you're going to take after listening to this podcast. That is an idea as well. And they rule the world. My name is Lauli Bitoye, and this has been Chris 516. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful time ahead.